It was a quiet evening in Charleston, the kind of evening when the world slowed down and every sunset looked like a painting. Emma stood by the balcony of the old Riverside Cafe, watching the last rays of gold dance on the water. She didn't know why she came back here after all these years. Maybe because this was where everything had started and where it had ended. Then she heard that voice, the one she never forgot. Still chasing sunsets, Emma, her heart skipped. She turned around, and there he was. Noah Carter, her first love, her almost forever. 8 years ago, Emma and Noah had fallen in love like waves meeting the shore, sometimes soft, sometimes crashing, but always returning. They met during their senior year of college. She was studying architecture. He was a musician trying to find his way. Their worlds were different, yet their hearts spoke the same language: curiosity, laughter, and an unspoken pull that neither could ignore. Their first real connection happened during a thunderstorm. The power had gone out in their dorm, and everyone rushed to find flashlights. But Emma stayed by the window, mesmerized by the rain. Noah found her there. "You like storms?" he asked. "They make me feel alive," she said softly. He smiled. "Then maybe I'm a storm too." From that night on, they were inseparable. Noah wrote songs for her. Emma sketched his dreams into designs. They stayed up until sunrise, sharing secrets and fears, promising that no matter what life brought, they'd always find each other again. But, like all young love stories, theirs was tested. After graduation, Noah was offered a recording deal in Los Angeles. It was everything he had worked for. Emma wanted to be happy for him, but her own architecture internship was in Charleston. 2 dreams, 2 directions. They promised to try long distance. For a while, they did. But time zones, missed calls, and exhaustion built invisible walls. One evening, after another dropped call, and another tearful night, Emma whispered, "Maybe we should stop trying to hold on so hard." Noah didn't argue. He just said quietly, "If we're meant to find each other again, we will." They said goodbye, not because they stopped loving each other, but because sometimes love means letting go when holding on starts to hurt. Now, years later, fate had drawn them back to the same cafe where he used to play his guitar and she used to draw on napkins. Noah looked older, more grounded, but his eyes still carried that same spark, the same gentle fire that once made her believe in forever. "Didn't think I'd see you again," Emma said softly. "I wasn't sure you'd still want to," he replied, half smiling. "But when I saw your exhibition poster downtown, I had to come." She laughed lightly. "So you still stalk art shows?" "No," he grinned, "just yours." The air between them felt alive, full of memories and unspoken emotions. They talked for hours, sharing stories about careers, mistakes, and nemesis. Emma learned he never married. Noah learned she never forgot the sound of his music as they talked. The night deepened. The cafe lights flickered, and rain began to fall, just like it had that first night years ago. "Looks like the storm found us again," Noah whispered. Emma smiled, her heart tightening. Maybe it never really left. They stepped outside under the cafe awning, rain drizzling softly. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence wasn't awkward, it was familiar, too. Noah looked at her the way someone looks at something they've missed every day. "You know," he said gently, "I wrote songs for years. But none of them felt right, because none of them were about you." Emma blinked back tears. "Why didn't you call?" he sighed, running his hand through his hair. "Because I wanted to be someone you'd be proud of if we ever met again." She felt her heart tremble. "I always was proud of you." Their eyes met, not with the excitement of youth, but with the calm understanding that only time can bring. Slowly, Noah reached out, brushing a raindrop from her cheek. His touch was careful, respectful, but full of emotion. Emma didn't pull away. She leaned closer not because of impulse, but because every unspoken word of the last 8 years seemed to lead to this single breath. The world around them faded, the rain, the cars, the cafe lights, until it was just them, 2 souls rediscovering each other in the quiet hum of the storm. Noah whispered, "Do you ever think about us?" "Every day," she said. And in that moment, their foreheads met a soft, trembling closeness that said everything words couldn't. Their eyes closed, hearts aligned once again. Noah's voice trembled as he said, "I never stopped loving you, Emma." She smiled through tears. "Then maybe it's time we start again." Over the next few weeks, they began to see each other again, not as they once were, but as who they had become. They walked through art galleries, cooked together, and watched old movies late into the night. Sometimes, when she'd be painting, Noah would quietly strum his guitar in the corner, humming old melodies that still carried her name, too. There was laughter, there were tears, and there was healing, the kind that only comes when love gets a second chance. One evening, as they stood on the same balcony overlooking the river, Noah took her hand. "I used to think love fades with time," he said, "but maybe it just matures like us." Emma nodded. "Love doesn't disappear, Noah, it waits for the right version of us to find it again." He looked at her, eyes shining with emotion. "Then, I guess we finally found ours." The air was still warm and alive with memories. The world seemed to pause as they drew closer, gently, tenderly, their hands clasped as their hearts remembered how it once felt to belong. When their lips met, it wasn't fiery or rushed, it was familiar. Soft, real, like returning home after years away. It was the kind of moment that didn't ask for perfection, just truth. When they finally pulled away, Emma laughed quietly. "To still taste like rain." Noah smiled, eyes glistening. "And you still smell like home." Months later, Emma's art studio displayed a new collection, The Storms We Survived. Each painting told a story of resilience, patience, and love that finds its way back. In the corner of the gallery, Noah played his guitar, softly, soulfully, his voice filling the room like a memory returning to life. When he finished, he walked over to Emma, kissed her forehead gently, and whispered, "This feels like forever." She looked up at him, smiling. "That's because it is." Outside, rain began to fall again, gentle, rhythmic, familiar. But this time, neither of them hid from it. They stepped into the rain hand in hand, laughing, hearts open. Finally, knowing that love wasn't about the years apart, it was about the courage to come back when the heart remembers where it belongs. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Heart Talk Stories, where love always finds its way home.